Summer holiday season is here. It's a good chance to kick back, recharge the batteries, and reconnect with family and friends. It's also a good chance to get off the treadmill, ditch the smartphone, and think loftier, longer-term thoughts. Here's some grist for the gray matter as you're sipping that great cup of joe on the dock. Are we being infected by a techno-fed short-termism that is ultimately holding us back? Whoa, just a minute. Isn't that a bit much for a dock thought? Maybe, maybe not. Stand back from the action for a bit, and it's obvious that we now deal with a daily deluge of information that was unthinkable a quarter century ago. Not only are today's computers able to process exponentially greater volumes of data than before, they and the systems they support are able to generate volumes of data that we now feel responsible to digest, analyze, and act upon. Since we don't have any more time than we ever had before, the stream of data has to be dealt with as instantly as possible, as its shelf life is shorter. In this respect, life is indeed sped up, creating a tyranny of the urgent that is hard, sometimes commercially fatal, to resist. At the same time, a key danger of the data deluge is a narrowing of perspective. The greater data flow can create the illusion that 5 years is a very long time, and 10 years back is ancient history. In terms of the growth of technology, it likely is. But discarding as irrelevant bygone years where our technical capabilities were much lower, but where critical lessons were learned, puts us offside with the adage that those who forget the past are condemned to repeat its mistakes. Short-termism's downsides are perhaps best illustrated in the financial models developed at the end of the last growth cycle. These did not lack for technical sophistication, the like of which most of the planet's population still cannot comprehend. But the calibration of the models against recent phenomena led them in certain very obvious cases to make assumptions about the marketplace that held under certain circumstances, and to build in mechanisms that actually ended up undermining those foundational assumptions. In addition, confidence in their performance led to one-sided or uncovered investments. When circumstances changed, these new models very nearly caused the collapse of the modern financial system. Following the latest fad is nothing new, but the concern is that data is increasing fadism and making it more pervasive. In essence, it takes some new observed reality and extrapolates it forward. In highly changing reactive industries, this may be necessary for survival. To an extent, the speed of technological progress has made it necessary for all industries. Economic forecasting is no exception. It's clear that without current computing power and data availability, the task would be based on a looser arrangement of facts, anecdotal observation, and a lot more subjective judgment. Technical tools have increased the sophistication of the profession and hopefully the accuracy. But the deluge of daily data leaves the profession exposed to the perils of short-term trend analysis. Drawing straight lines through data absent proper context can lead to conclusions that cause us to miss key turning points in the economy. Currently, many conclude that the weak growth of the past 5 years is all we can really expect over the medium to long term. They give good reasons for this, and maybe they're right. But if history is to be believed, normal is much higher than the little we're being told to prepare for. That could cost us. The idea here is not to eschew the inundation of information. Modern-day Luddites risk a light-speed journey to irrelevance. Rather, it's a careful juggling of realities, a blend of perspective that appeals to the lessons of a longer-term past and weighs up current developments against them. Chances are that many of the survivors of the world's greatest economic and financial debacle since the Great Depression were those who held the short and long-term views of cyclical developments in balance. The bottom line? As you take time to decompress this summer, try to put the mayhem of regular life in the context of the longer journey. It may lead to some exciting ideas and preparation for a better short and longer-term future. Until next week, I'm Peter Hall.